Uh, how are you, ladies and gentlemen? Well, it's good to connect with you. My name is Simon. I was born in Kenya, Nairobi, capital city of Kenya, Nairobi. But I'm a citizen of heaven, which is the fact of my life, and I'm so glad to be a citizen of heaven. Our ministry is called Life Without Limits Ministry, and our big agenda, Let's Life Without Limits, is to try to reach the gospel of hope or the wisdom lesson into our entire generations or into our entire generation. And we are so glad by doing that. Well, if you search on our YouTube channel or on our TikTok, you will find Life Without Limits Ministry in different countries. Uh, when you go out of Africa, still Life Without Limits exists in other countries like in European, in China, in USA. It's Life Without Limits all over the world. Okay, the name the name Life Without Limits is a life without limitations. That's our big agenda, to try to send our entire generation are free from the troubles we choose to approach in our life every day. Because guys, as we all know, is that life sometimes isn't fair, and sometimes many people are really depressed, and sometimes there are these times that, let's say, stress and depressions and all those stuffs are temporary after all, and it's normal. It's the normal. It's something normal about life. But for those people maybe who haven't experienced much in life, and for those people maybe who haven't studied much about the wisdom of God, sometimes when they reach in these periods of stresses or depression, sometimes they are really limited. They used to be limited. And I remember in my previous lesson I have been saying that please, wherever you are listening to us or wherever you are in life, I don't know the kind of a situation that you're handling in life, but please, in whatever situation you are in, never be limited and never give up. Life is a test, life is a commitment, life is a long journey, and life is divided into more than a billion seasons of life. There are good times and there are bad times. And all these times are important into our life. And this was prophesied by Prophet Isaiah, where he said that all the different seasons of life which used to approaches in our life are all important, because good times will help you, will help this body become active, and you will enjoy life. But still, bad times will help you understand your creator, will help you understand that God still lives. Because I do know and I do understand, and this is approval that no one can argue with, that in our world today, there are still billions of people who do not believe well in Jesus Christ. They do not believe in God. They do not believe that God really exists. And there are still other people who do believe that, well, this whole thing is just made up. What if there is no God? What if there is no hell? What if this whole thing is just made up? And they are limited on that belief. Okay? I know there are some of those people. That's why I have said the reason why life is divided into more than a billion seasons of life, or more than 1,000 periods of life, depression times, good times, bad days, good days, happy moments, sad moments, tears moments, all these different seasons that used to approach in our lifetime are important, because most of them are able to let your questions be answered, because it's not long to question. Even I myself, before I gave my life to Jesus Christ, or before I gave my life to God, I was limited and by so many questions. There were so many questions which were learning on my subconscious, because when I was asking if God is really there. Why do we sometimes face difficulties in life? Why do we sometimes suffer? Why do some people have to die in accident? Why do some people have to die in hospital facilities seeking for healing, yet they're not getting one? And I was even convinced that maybe God sent there anymore doesn't exist, because there are some people you will see that he have been praying for more than 15 years, and he will stand in front of people and say, for sure I have been praying for 15 years, but nothing has changed in my life. I have seen no difference. So he have all the reason to believe that God isn't there. But I want you to reconsider this, my brothers and sisters all over the world. I myself, I was one of the victims of those people who argued with this wisdom of God, and who had a, some very difficult questions with the matter of godliness and these stuffs of, saying that Satan used to stay or whatever, all those beliefs. I was among the victims. I was among those people who argued with the wisdom of God, and I reached this point to ask God, in my 10th year age, I was just a small child when I started experiencing, because, well, I was raised in a family where my father wasn't this much concerned about godliness, but my mother was so much concerned about godliness. And he will tell us each and every day, but that you don't have to sleep before you can play. You have to seek God salvation every day. You need to go to church. You need to stay like a righteous person. And sometimes I was like, but mother, yes, you're saying that we need to commit ourselves in godliness all this way, but look at all the brokenness in our life. My father here don't pay attention, don't want to pay attention on this matter that you are encouraging us to follow. He is depressing us, because my father was like a satanical, I don't know how to explain, but he didn't want to pay attention on God in any way, as in he didn't want to pay that much attention on a Christianity matters that much. He was like our attempt, as in it was like this. Satan was using my father to break our faith in Christianity. And on the other side, God was using my mother to encourage us each and every day, to shape us in a Christianity way. And so we had this brokenness that sometimes my father will even overreact, and sometimes you went to church or you went to mountain to pray, and maybe you spent the whole night there praying. So he will be like, he will even beat you, he will even cane you, and sometimes we really caused ourselves in some very great troubles during our childhood, because, well, it's the fight that is taking place all over the world even today, that sometimes there are so many people that who are against this godliness matters with all the cost, and they have every reason why they want to be against it, as in it's like it's hunting them. Life is yours. I don't refuse. You have a free choice to make. You can either say, I want to become a Christian, I want to serve God. But imagine, the devil is using your brothers and sisters, the devil is using anybody just to become a block to you. And he will even fight against you, where you will wonder, why do I have to perish all this way? Why do I have all this proof to you? My proof to you is that godliness, as in God really exists even today, and his Holy Spirit used to stay with us each and every day. And this is one of the reasons why you will find that in my life I do know God that really exists, and I always, my reputation with God is much greater than my reputation with the human beings. And the time that mystery having a conversation somewhere, I like to talk about godliness matters, because, well, I have my own reasons. One of the reasons is because, well, Someone can stand here and ask me, just saying that you follow God and you can die for Him and you will do whatever it costs to reach the gospel of hope in our world. But why? Why do you really care about God? As in, what kind of a proof do you have even this God really exists? And I will tell you this. In my 10th year, Satan tried to poison my mind, where he reached me a point of committing a suicidal. And if you tell me it wasn't Satan, you will be lying to me, because I do understand what the kind of a poisonous that was pressed in my head. And I do know the miracles that happened during that day. It was kind of a poisonous. I was poisoned my mind, and whoever poisoned me, it wasn't my mother, it wasn't my sister, it wasn't my friends, it was Satan himself who poisoned my mind through some dreams, some terrible dreams, and some spiritual wars. He poisoned my mind. And I reached this point to say to God, well, God, it's true that, well, I have believed in you, because in my childhood level, since we were so much concerned about God, and my mother was one of the people who will do anything just for God. He didn't care about the villagers. He didn't care about all the people, again, all the people around our community who don't believe in God or do believe in God. He only cared about God, and he taught us much about God. As in, we were just little kids. We didn't have this much great understanding, but He made us understand God, even in that childhood level. And this is one of the reasons why I do believe that anyone can be used by God. Don't ever say that I'm young, I'm a teenager, I'm just 15 years old, I'm just 10 years old, I need to start my. Well, I will tell you that my Christianity journey, I started during my I think in the ages of 10, that's when I started my journey to salvation. And imagine, after all these years, if this something was just a scam, for those maybe who do think that maybe this is just a scam or it's just something else, I will really ask you this question. Imagine, since the ages of 10, and here we are, 26 years old. I have passed through all the terrible stuff that you can never imagine they call it a 10. I have passed through marriage stages, I have passed through a relationship, I have lived in more than, I don't know how many different seasons of life, because there are so many times I have ever been this much well financially stable person. There are other times that I have been broke. I have been living. There are so many times I had some friends, drug addicts, business friends. There are so many challenges which have taken place in my life. My life is full of, like, everything. I have gone through a lot. If it's to be jailed, I have, you know, I have went in every court of law. I don't think there is a new court of law here in our country that I haven't faced. And if you talk of maybe sleeping in jail and all, for those circumstances, I have gone through those circumstances, because, well, life is a long journey, like I've been saying before. Life is a long journey, and it doesn't mean that anybody here on this world is perfect. No, no one is perfect. We are saints. Do I make myself clear? We are saints. Saints means that we are living under the grace of God. As in, we are not perfect. We are saints living under the grace of God. So there are so many times that even myself, I reached during my teenage level, in the ages of, let's say, 18 to 23 to 24, there, I fight a very great war to fight against my to fight against fresh desires, and to fight against, spiritual darkness. Because let me tell you one thing, for those maybe it's their first time to listen to our testifications, or for those maybe you are there, you're not this much concerned about God, or you haven't been listening about the wisdom of God in different places, or maybe you don't have this deep interaction with God. Sometimes you cannot understand me easily when I tell you that during the days, in the days that you are not much concerned about God, or if you are born in a family where they are not this much concerned about God, okay, there is a habit and there is something we call belief. Belief is not a habit, as in there is differentiate between a habit and a belief. There are people who used to go to church because it's a habit, as in they they follow other people, they follow their parents, they follow the people around them. They go to church because, well, people do go to church on Sunday or on Saturday. That's when they believe. There are other people who used to pray, well, because everyone else pray. So playing to him is just a normal stuff. Playing to him is just a habit. As in, he don't do it because he understands the value of doing it, but he do it because, well, other people do. Or that's how the life, that's how he met the life. Do are you getting my point, guys? What I'm trying to mean to say here? I'm saying that in our world today, there are so many people, well, who do believe in God because other people believe in God. There are other people who do go to church, well, because everyone else is going to church. So if everyone else on this world say there is no God, there is no hell, this whole thing is just made up, and they will follow the way. Why? Because their belief is under people. It's a habit. It's not permanent. This is what I'm saying. Their belief isn't permanent. So it's just a habit. Where just like the way there is marriage and there is to get children, these are kind of regional beliefs, as in it's a habit. But there is a difference between a habit and interacting with God and understanding. There is a difference between a habit and understanding. According to Apostle Paul is one of the people that I agree with their wisdom of God, and I agree with their beliefs, because Apostle Paul, before giving his life to Jesus Christ, well, he used to live under habit. He was a Pharisee, and a Pharisee are the people who used to study much about God. He was studying much about the laws of God. He used to study. He had Apostle Paul is one of the great educated peoples in the Bible. You'll come to find, because Apostle Paul, you will find that the people who are his classmates, or the people who they were compared with his knowledge, is people like Agrippas, the kings, and he was a wise person, Apostle Paul, and he studied a lot about God before giving his life to Jesus Christ. But after giving his life to Jesus Christ, he counted all his wisdom like foolishness. He said, I count all my wisdom foolishness, because, well, from what I was told, or from what I have learned, if I compare my wisdom and God's wisdom, I think my wisdom is just useless. It's just, as in, it's foolishness. Because the wisdom of God is much greater than you can all imagine, think, or entertain. And this is why Apostle Paul reached this point to say, God, in the book of first of all, you will come to find it, that he's saying, God, I'm not saying this because I am in need. Get to look at the player of a person who really understands God, and a person who is playing or who is seeking for God just like a habit. Apostle Paul understood that God, he reached this point to say, God, I am not saying this because I am in need. Quote that prayer. I am not saying this because I am in need. I know what it is to be in need. I know and have learned the secret of being content whatever the circumstance. Do you understand? I'm not thanking you because I'm in need. I'm not saying whatever I'm saying because I'm in need. It's because I do understand you. As in, I don't serve you with conditions. Okay? I don't serve you with conditions. Habit will make you serve God with a lot of conditions, and you will never find the true love of God. Because even I, like a person, my according to me, if you love me with a condition that maybe you are loving me with this limitation, you're loving me well because I'm well financially stable. Or maybe right now, let's say right now, the way I am, I'm well financially stable and I got things that I got in life. I'm blessed in God, by God in so many different ways. And you come to me and approach me and say, I love you. I love you and I love you with all my heart. And I will do everything to please you. As in, I will love you until death. And then, yes, that is just words. You have said that you love me and you will do anything to please me, as in, you will always be there for me. You can live with me until death. I will start your words. I will just take your words and then I will experience. I will learn through experience. I will see whether you love me because of what I got or you love me that you love. As in, do you love me because I'm well financially stable? If you met me on the road, on the street, would you have loved me? If you have met me desperate, would you have loved me? If you have met me with nothing, would you have loved me? This is kind of a love that God needs from humanity. As in, you would have loved me even if I got nothing. And how do you love someone without anything? It's through understanding. As in, if you come to understand God this kindly, you will understand that God has already offered everything to you. He have offered everything. As in, you are his child. You are already a king. So it's not like you are saying you are going to love God for him to offer you anything. He offered everything before he brought you here on this planet Earth. But the reason why we used to pray and the reason why we used to interact with God is through the wisdom of God, that by seeking his presence we are interacting with him. We love him. As in, we love him with a true love. He is our father because of the love of offering to us everything that we need. Everything, you know, there's so many people who will listen to me saying that God has already given everything that we need, and he will say, why am I still struggling then? Yes, I will question. You have said that God has given up everything we need. He has offered to us health, He has offered to us our financially stable lives. He has offered everything that we need to survive. You can argue with me and say, then why am I suffering? Then tell me, why don't I have money in my pocket? Then tell me, why don't I have an apartment like everyone else? Why do I not have catch like everyone else? I will tell you, this is just because of lack of understanding or lack of wisdom. If you really understand God, you will understand what I'm saying. I'm saying that God offered everything that we need, but we are under sin. We are under the laws of the sin. Do you know what a sin is? A sin includes Satan in our life. A sin includes Satan in our life. And by including Satan in our life, Satan is a liar and the father of all liars. Satan is a thief. Satan is a robber. He will steal your properties. He will steal your mindset. He will steal your spiritually. He will steal your value as a king. He will steal a lot to you. And so, how do you get to the game? You know, it's like this. For me to make my point clear, and God created Adam and Eve, He offered everything, and Satan was not included in our life. If Satan never approached in our lives, then we could have everything we need. We could not be struggling. As in, I know you all know the story of Garden of Eden, what happened there. So when Satan includes himself, or when Satan includes himself in our lives, that's when he started lobbying. And the first thing that he lobbed from us is the wisdom of God, for us not to understand who we are. Because I will give you this story for you to understand me. There was a lion somewhere. A lion. This is just a parable I'm giving you for you to understand my point. There was a lion somewhere, and this lion gave birth to small lioness, to cubes lioness. And after giving birth, it disappeared, as in there was a rapture in that place, and so the lion departed with its small cubs. And after departing from his small cubs, this one of the cubs uh, went to live with something we call goats. He went to live with goats. I don't know whether I'm making my point clear. I don't know whether you understand this story. There was a lion, and it gave birth to small cubs. After giving birth to small cubs, these small cubs, a rapture happened, and so they departed. This lion departed with his small cubs, and so these small cubs, some went to live with maybe other lioness, but one of the cubs went to live with goats. And so the area that this cub grows up, as a small cub, you all know how our brains used to learn. If you have studied something like something that we call psychology, and if you have studied many studies, you do understand that for animals and for human beings and for anything, child is a child. Small fish is a small fish. It has nothing in its brain. A small cub has nothing in its subconscious, in its brain, let's say, in its brain. It doesn't know whether it's a cub, it's a lion. It doesn't know anything to do with that. The same case with us as human being. Even us as human being, no one is born with a wisdom, as in we are not born like this the way we are. We are not born with anything. Everything that we have in our subconscious, everything that we have in our lifetime, we have learned. It's one day at a time. We are born with nothing, and so when we are born, it's our duty to get to understand what is our destination, what is our life purposes, what the things to place in our subconscious, the things not to place in our subconscious. That is how we are created. And so this small cub didn't have any wisdom to understand whether it was a lion or it was just a goat like other goats. And so it lived with the goats for a very long time. And so it was eating grasses, it was eating other stuffs, other insects, small insects in that area, and it lives like a goat. And one day, lioness came to attack the goats. After lioness came to attack the goats where the goats were living, this lion, this small cub that it has now become a lion, a big lion, it started learning. It started learning with the goats because it didn't understand. It saw other goats learning, and it was like, oh my goodness, don't eat me. It was like, don't eat me, don't eat me. It was like, as in, I'm a goat. I have to learn for my life. It learned for its life. It disappeared for its life. It didn't know that these goats, which are hunting, or these lioness which are hunting, are his partners. It's his family. He's a lion. He didn't understand, so he learned with the goat, and this other lion learned after it, and after learning after it, so the lions allowed it, and after the lions allowed it, we all know that animals do have their way of interacting, especially lions, and especially because lion is the king of the jungle. We do know that it has its own way of understanding, of talking. So it was like saying, why do you have to learn? You are a lion. What are you doing among the gods? As in, how comes you don't hunt? How comes that you don't have a law? How comes that you are so weak? They surrounded it. And so for it to understand itself, for it to understand that it was a lion, they took him on a valley, or on a river. And so the river reflects the image of it. As it was drinking some water, it is so that it was a lion. It is so that the image, the water is just like a mirror. So when the lion look at the water, it is so itself, and it realized that for all these years I have been suffering, so I am a lion. As in, how comes I have been living among the gods? I have been living worried. I was worried not to be hunted by hyenas. I have to fear other animals that I can defeat. I'm a lion. I have a law. And so it started living like a lion. This is the same case with us as human beings. We are born like kings and queens, but Satan has stolen something we call that wisdom. He has stolen wisdom from us. He has stolen that knowledge to get to understand who we are. We do not know. Many of our people, many of our generation, many of our young teenagers really don't understand who they are. That's why you are drinking alcoholism. That's why you are taking cigarettes. That's why you are taking banks every day, because you do not understand who am I, who you are. You are a king. You are a true king. But Satan has stole this from you, this from your subconscious. He don't want you to understand who you are, because the moment you will understand who you are, you will defeat him. Have I made myself clear? Are you really getting my point, my brothers and sisters? I know some of points that I'm talking here are going to set you some out of trouble in future, because I'm going to tell you that on this earth we are born to fight. Life is a long journey. Life is a commitment. Life is a test. We are born to learn. We are born to fight. We are soldiers. And the one we are fighting against is not our brothers and sisters. By fighting your brothers and sisters, this is a worthless battle. You are fighting a worthless battle. You need to fight against your enemy. And who is your great enemy? Satan, of course. Satan is your great enemy. So you need to fight to understand that we are fighters, but we are not fighting against our brothers and sisters. We are fighting against Satan, Lucifer, the enemy of the light. Am I making myself clear? Am I making myself clear? I do understand that still there are some people who can say, well, what if I don't serve God? What if I don't serve Satan? What if I serve myself? There's some point you need to understand that by serving yourself or by trusting in yourself, you are not gonna make it. How many times have you ever trusted in yourself and find yourself failing yourself more than a billion seasons, more than a billion's time in a small period of days or in some month? And do you think you're good enough to live for yourself? If you think, can you be able to live without harming your brothers and sisters? Can you be able to live without harming the people around you? Can you be able to do the right things? No, you can't. As in, I have been learning many books, and I have found these books of this guy known as Ellen White, one of the people that I agree with their wisdom. He have quoted this by saying, in this world you will never be able to serve no one. As in, you can't serve anyone, no one. By serving yourself, you are declaring to God that, God, I don't want your plan, I don't want you in my life, I don't want your head. But do you understand who God is? Do you really understand the love of God? Do you really understand why you need God in your life? Do you understand? I will tell you why you need God in your life. I will tell you who is God. God is our Father. As in, He is our helper. He is Alpha and Omega. What do I mean? I mean that God don't need anything from you. As in, just because you have seen people preaching that, well, if you want the salvation of God, you must give tithe, you must offer, you must sacrifice. No, I will tell you, God don't need anything from you. As in, He's this kind of a God who needs nothing from you. He's rich enough. Everything on this world is His. Everything on heaven is His. He needs nothing. That is point number one. He is God. He needs nothing. In fact, He is your creator. He can control you if He wants. But for His love, He never chooses to control a human being. For He is so holy. This means He is holy. He is righteous. As in, He don't rejoices in God in wrongdoing. He hates. As in, just the way you yourself, you sometimes feel, I want to do bad thing. Maybe you know to abuse someone is a bad thing. And you sometimes say, well, this person have done some mess to my life, but I'm not gonna do bad thing to him. I don't feel like. God now is more righteous than we are. As in, He hates wrongdoing. He hates to do bad things. He hates evildoers. As in, the way you hate, what do you hate most? I don't know what you hate most, but if you ask me, I hate Satan for his foolishness. I hate Satan for his lavishness, for all the things that he has caused in my life, and I hate him more than I hate anything else in this world. I hate Satan, and this I'm sure of. I do hate him, and I have my own reason why I do hate him. I don't know who you hate, but I want to ask you, if you are looking for someone to hate, stop hating a child of God. Hate Satan. Stop hating the creation of God. Hate Satan, because he's the behind the scene of all your strugglings of life. He's behind the scene while you're facing terrible stuff. He's behind the scene while you're struggling. He's behind the scene of all your struggling. So God don't need anything from us. He's the Father. The reason why you need God in your life, He's willing to help you. As in the first place, He's willing to help you. He don't need anything from you. He needs nothing. But He's willing to help in case you need His help. Secondly, He is recommending people to come into righteousness stuff, because how can I explain to you? Since God is the creator of everything, since God is God who don't need anything from humans, the things that we are seeing on this world and the things that used to make us happy and everything that we see, even ourselves, we are God's descendants. We are God's property. As in, He took His 6 days to create the world. Then He took the whole of His day. We are meeting in heaven. He said to His angels that now let us create a human being who can rule everything that we have created, can rule all the birds of the air, everything we have created. Let us create a human being with our own image. He took His time to create you. So He created everything, and by creating the world, He valued it very much. He value, among the things that He value most is the human being. He value human being. Among the valuable stuffs to God, I will tell you without lying to you, because this is a very great point that you have never understand since you were born. Among the things that God really values, as in the things that He can say, I value this, is human being. He values human being more than everyone else. More than anything else. You can even confirm this from the books of David, the book of Jesus Christ. You can understand that the love of giving up your only begotten Son for the sake of a creature, this shows that among the things that you value, He value a human being more than you value your wife. He value a human being more than you value your properties. He value a human being. He value a human being. And so he is depressed when he see that his creation is misusing, as in when Satan is misusing his job, as in he feels guilty, he feels anger. He can't hold it, as in he value human being this way, that he can't just stay and watch you doing evil stuff, because he understands this principle. The way he created a human being, he didn't create a sinner. He didn't create a sinner. He created a creation just the same as him. By creating a human being, he was creating his own image. As in, he was expecting this human being will be like me. And so by the time we are going against, as in we are acting evil instead of showing his image, as in even I myself, I can't just hold this. I can't just wait all the years of my life to come to get a child, and after getting this child, I love him like a son, and then I shape him like my son, my lovely son, and then I see him doing opposite of my life, as in showing the image of thieving, criminal, the most arrogant person. As in, I can't just hold that. I will punish him. I will tell him, this was not the reason why I brought you here on this world. Imagine this is to us, this human being. Imagine about God. By the time you are doing evil stuff, God is seeing you are destroying his image. As in the way, just imagine maybe you're on a wedding or on a feast, and someone is taking some images, and he get to take your image badly, as in he get to pick your image, but pick your image, maybe but the time you was like saying, I feel hungry or something, maybe you wasn't in a good position to be taken an image, and later on you find those images are displayed out there. He's selling those images to the people who he have took those image from. He have displayed those images. You will bought that image not because it looks so good, but because it looks so bad. You want a body to go to destroy it because you are saying this could not be me. If someone else get to pick this, if my enemy cut this photo, he will destroy my name. As in, you can say, look at this person, the way he looks angry. As in, you will just buy that image because you don't want to see your image looking so bad. Are you getting me, my brothers and sisters? Are you getting me, my guys? Are you getting me? Are you getting what I'm saying? This is how God used to see. You can be there acting evil does. God is seeing, man, I can just hold this. This guy is destroying my picture. He's destroying my image. Look at him. Look at the things he's doing opposite of me. And I created him with my own image. So, guys, show up the image of God. Stop depressing God. God needs a pace. He needs to be amazed. You need to see his creation acting the same way he created you. And guys, I'm gonna tell you that you need to pay attention on him. Otherwise, one of these days, God will have to wake up and he will deal with this mess which is taking place all over the world. Satan has managed to damage the world in a great way that right now we have billions of people praising him. We have billions of people doing adultery. We have billions of people doing fornication each and every day. A lot of messes are taking place in our world today. But one day, God is going to come. One of these days, God is coming back. And he's gonna deal with this mess. But we need to be on the right side of it. We need to be on the light side of it. Because when that day comes, my dear brother, my dear friend, God will not ask you, how many people have you met on the world? God will not ask you, how did you live your life? No, that's not what God gonna ask you. He's gonna ask you, I gave you enough time to be on the world. What did you do? Who did you bring? What different did you make on the world? As in, who have you make see the kingdom of heaven? I gave you more than 100 years. I gave you 80 years. I gave you 50 years. I gave you 70 years. I gave you 90 years. I gave you 100 years. What have you done? You know, it's not like you're going to heaven to start saying, oh God, my life is so complicated. I've been living a desperate life. I've been living a depression life. Imagine my 15th years, I had broken a woman, and then I live with a broken heart. I have been drinking alcoholism all of a sudden. I have been a thief. I have been a terrorist. As this is quite not kind of a story, man. You need to have a story. You need to have a story to say to God, God, it's true I have been a sinner, and it's true that my body that I had was a sinful body, but at least I got a good story. I have brought at least 100 people in the kingdom of heaven. I have tried my best to fight against sin. It's not that I accepted the sin to rule my life, but I have done my best to fight against the sin. At least have a great reputation with God more than having a great reputation with the human being. Am I making my point clear, guys? Well, this is where I'm going to reach my lesson today. And I hope that you have learned at least something from me. You have learned something from this wisdom lesson. Well, I meet you in the next few hours. We will be having another lesson whereby we will discover much about godliness and about the kingdom purposes. Well, like I've said before, my name is Simon. I was born in Kenya. My name is Simon Morioki. I was born in Kenya, living in Kenya, but I'm a citizen of heaven, which is a fact of my life. And maybe you are there, you've never started a journey with God, you have never tried God in your life, or you think that maybe you're not 100% sure whether you're walking on the light side or on the long side. As in, yes, you believe in God, you trust in God, but you're not sure whether it's a habit or it's a true repetition with God, or it's a true interaction with God. You're not sure about your belief. I want to give you a chance to start sure a full assurance in the heart journey. Do you know what I mean? Full assurance in the heart. I want to give you the meaning of these three words in the Bible, or in our word. The first word, we call it Bible. What does the Bible mean? Bible means you are the biblical belief lacking evidence, whereby you're not 100% sure of what you believe. You don't know whether God lives or not. You don't know whether hell is real or not. You are not 100% sure. This is Bible, being under biblical belief lacking evidence. Then we have what we call faith. You know what the meaning of the word faith? Faith is Faith, full assurance in the heart of knowing three things. Number one, the reason why you are here. Number two, where you will be when you're not here. Number three, where are you really heading to? And then we have things like busy. Do you know what busy is? I'm too busy for God. I'm too busy on my business. I don't have time for God. I can't I'm not ready to give my life for God at this moment, man. I have a lot of things to work on. Do you know what the meaning of the word busy? busy. Being under Satan's yoke. Being under Satan's yoke. Okay? Do you know what is the meaning of the word fear? Fear is false evidence appearing, which is gonna appear in your life, and as long as you don't pay attention of God, as long as you don't interact with God, fear is gonna come, and fear is gonna paralyze you more than a person on a wheelchair, in case you got no idea. Are you getting my point? Fear is gonna paralyze you more than a person on a wheelchair. Okay, so have something with God. That's all I can request you. I want to give you this chance to give your life to Jesus Christ, to regain your greatest journey of salvation. If you're there, you've never given your life to Jesus Christ, still you can repeat this prayer after me. Say, "Dear God, I come to you this day. I'm not 100% sure whether I have been walking on the light ways or the long ways, but now I want to have a full assurance in the heart. I want to have faith with you. God, guide me, mourn me, make me one of your followers on this world. I want you to guide my path. I want you to guide my choices. I can't trust in my body anymore. I know I've been trusting in my body, but I've been failing my body more than uncounted numbers. But right now, I want to trust your faith. I want you to come into my life. I want you to make my life a new life. And it's in the mighty name of Jesus and the Father and the Holy Spirit I pray and I trust. Amen. Can somebody say amen? If you have said that single prayer, I believe and I trust that your life will never be the same again. Let us meet in the next lesson. Have a blessed day, guys. I love you all. Thank you.